Hey guys, Sarah Baker here with balancebabe.com. Today I'm sitting with Stef of Stef in the City. She's a dating expert and we're going to be talking about dating myths, what you shouldn't do on a date, and really how to just date in general. It's such a crazy world these days. So first, tell us a little bit more about what you do and the services you offer.
Well, besides dating coaching, which a lot of people come to because there's so many different types of dating you can be doing these days, and whether you've been out of the dating field for 6 months or 6 years, everything changes very dramatically. We do matchmaking where we set people up and we have rules to our old-fashioned ways of dating. We have what's called a personalized social calendar. Where are the places you can go to meet somebody, and where should you be going to meet somebody that you're looking for, as well as we work with people on their online dating profiles because the pictures really do matter, as well as how you market yourself. First off, you want to avoid the bars as your main place. If there's something going on at the bar, that might be something you want to do. Like there are some great networking events that are at bars, but clearly with the networking events, it's not quite the same where you're there to meet people, not necessarily to pick them up, but to be able to form a connection for business. So some of the events I do recommend is network after work. They always have 300 to 500 people at their venues. So if you don't get there on time, you'll miss out. I also recommend that people do networking breakfasts and lunches and look for one person to connect with. It's not always about if you're a woman to meet the guy. Meet some other girls and find out where they're going. Networking has almost become kind of the new singles arena because people don't go to singles things as much that are labeled single, and that's what makes some of this a lot easier because people can go and they can go with their married friends and still connect and give out a business card without worrying if that person's trying to make a move. There's also many singles leagues for athletic events. There's some for actual singles where they can join, but generally when people do the athletic events, they are doing it, if it's not with a group of their friends and their friends' wives and husbands, they're doing it to meet people. And you don't have to be great at volleyball to be on a volleyball team. You don't have to be great at touch football or anything, but you do know that you will meet people and be able to see them for 6 to 8 weekends in a row.
Now, Steph, you said that one of the services you provide is online dating guidance and help with profile pictures. Now, we all want to know, have you seen some strange profile photos?
I have seen strange profile photos of both the men and the women. One of my favorites that I told the woman she had to fix immediately was she had not one but 2 pictures of her holding a baby, only the baby wasn't hers, it was her niece. And you could barely see her in the picture, but you could see the baby pretty clearly. And I said, this has got to be taken off immediately. And she said, well, why? And I said, again, if a guy was carrying a baby, it wouldn't be appealing to you. Another thing that I see a lot of times is I've seen women or men drinking a lot of alcohol or showing their drunk photos. And they said, but I looked at my best. And it's not an attractive thing. The same thing, ladies should not be wearing, baseball caps in their picture. That's might be really cute and fun way to express that you're into sports, but guys are looking for more glamorous type
what
of.
What about cowgirl hats? Just any type of hat, it would.
I think again, you want, guys are going to be visual. If you probably were to ask a guy about a hat, it'd be the same thing with a woman saying that they like a guy to shave.
Now let's say you've been on a couple really great dates with a guy and you think it's going amazing. When would be a good time to get a little bit more intimate than just dating?
I think a lot of people have to realize if you're going to get intimate, you've got to decide, if this person never calls me again, can you handle it? If this person decides that they don't want to see you exclusively, can you handle it? And you want to make sure that there's no goodies you're bringing home. Can you discuss STDs, and if this person's willing to make sure that there's nothing else they're going to bring to the table. These are all things you have to consider, that if you can't have those discussions or if you can't handle those feelings, you don't want to get intimate just to keep somebody or because it feels right at the moment.
So tell me, what are some dating blunders that you've seen with some clients?
I think one of the biggest blunders is that people don't feel that a first impression is about how they perform on the phone call and planning the date. Women will get very upset when a guy doesn't plan a date. And what I mean by that is they should have some places to go. They should have reservations made. They should consider where the woman lives. So it's not the place that's their favorite watering hole that's down the street, and it takes 20 minutes in the Arctic cold for the lady to get there. I think that, not being busy when you take the phone call, people take their phone calls in too many places. If it's someone you're dating, you need to be available. You don't want to be in a spot where you can't talk to them because it turns off guys or girls. And also, if a guy calls you these days, or, that you need to call him back sooner than later and not texting him back.
That's a big one, texting.
And for the guys, don't text and ask out. It just doesn't work.
So Stef, what happens now when a woman goes to a networking event or a function and she meets a great guy and now it comes down to dating? So do you have any dating myths that you think women think are real?
I think that a lot of men and women feel that people who are very attractive have no problems dating, which is not true. Because you've seen Christy Brinkley's single currently. You see that Cindy Crawford had a broken marriage, and people who are attractive still have some of the same issues. I've had very attractive men and women in my service, and their confidence isn't the level you would think it would be for the face forward that they have. And I think that a lot of people forget that everybody feels very vulnerable in dating. And no matter how attractive you are, how tall you are, if you have great hair or great figure, it doesn't mean that people still get very vulnerable in dating and get nervous and can make mistakes on a first date. And a lot of things are not personal, and some people really tend to take them very personal. A lot of people feel that there aren't there aren't rules to the game that they should be setting, that a lot of people always want to be appropriate. If you are somebody who feels very strongly and you don't want to kiss on the first date, you can't be upset if a guy tries to make a move on the first date. You have to put out there what you're comfortable with.
Now, this might be completely off topic, but on the same note of finding love and finding the dates to really get to know guys, what are your thoughts on Tinder?
I actually just saw something about Tinder that the founder claims that he met his girlfriend on Tinder.
Oh,
and
so it works?
I feel that Tinder is the type of thing, if you're going out of town and you'd like to meet somebody and have some company, I think Tinder's a great thing to do. I don't think that Tinder's necessarily something that you want to do if you're looking for a relationship. If you're looking for a date, I think it's something that can be fun.
Now, ladies, I think it's safe to say that we know all the tips to preventing a dating blunder, how to navigate some myths, and really what some ways are to enhance your profile photo in Tinder and your online dating profile. And if you are really looking to find a guy and you don't have any time at all, visit stefandthecity.com and Stef will show you the way to true love.